What's happening, people? Happy, I don't even know what day it is now, to be honest with you. Thursday? Friday. Happy Friday. Just thought I'd pop on. Pretty bored, really. What's everyone up to? Will Hearn, how we doing? Tom Sebastian, my darling, you in the headband, you're a different gravy. KD, mate, my joke, anyone might have noticed who follows me on Instagram, my jokes have dried up, mate. My jokes have dried up. Gonna try and cut up another one tonight. Danny Liam, what's happening? Jay's 1-2. Yeah, I see the news. Boris has got the corona. Yeah, KD, send it over, mate. Have we considered promoting in Canada? Yes, 100%. Toronto, apparently. Eddie, mate, you're looking rough. Thanks, mate. I feel fine. Is Usyk Chisora still going ahead? Good question. Monday we'll have an announcement on our May shows. Obviously, not looking great at the minute. Just to let you know, a couple of bits. So, new series launched on Matchroom Boxing IGTV. Chris Cooks, Chris Algieri, taking you through all the latest recipes. And we've recently filmed Fighting Fit, which will be dropping on Sky Sports soon, which is all our fighters and celebs and friends. 30-minute fitness sessions to keep you occupied at home. Being edited at the moment, should be ready soon. Mate, what we'd do for boxing start again. When's it going to be? Going to be a rough couple of weeks, that's for sure. Clarky, what's happening, mate? AJ DeGinga. AJ DeGinga. All right, this is interesting. Khabib versus Tony Ferguson. Now, you know I'm not a mad UFC guy, but it looks like Dana White is just going to go ahead with this show. I don't know where he's going to put it or what he's going to do. It is a great time to do great viewing. Yes, Robbie Davis. Great time to do great viewing figures for UFC, but obviously you're not going to get a crowd right now. Eddie, get a skinhead. Yeah, mate, I'm going to get the old hair transplant done probably in December. I think actually now would be a good time. Aqib Fires, great fighter. News dropping soon. Jimmy Mack, what's happening? UAE for Khabib v Ferguson. I've heard they're going to do it in Florida. I don't know. That's going to be a lot of requests for the Eubank impersonation, but I think I've done it to death now, to be honest with you. Joe Castillo, I haven't had a hair transplant yet, mate. It's just a lot of crafty combing. AJ tickets, news soon. We're obviously waiting. That's June 20 is the proposed date. We've got a lot to see what's happening over the next couple of weeks. Fitzy wants his mattress, mate. Scott Fitzgerald is a character, mate. He phoned me last night asking to get him a Dyson Hoover and a mattress. Is Terry Harper the British version of Katie Taylor? Well, she's got a long way to go, but she's young and she's ultra talented. Dalton Smith, what's happening, mate? Azim Sadiq, shout out. Am I scared of John Fury? Yeah, I think so. Would you have Botox? I swear I've never had Botox. Look. Insurance cover these planned fights? No. Unfortunately. If you could, would you sign Fury? Could you handle him? Yeah, listen, he's one of the biggest names in the sport. I actually had a meeting to sign him once in Monaco, and he was like 26, 27 stone. I thought he'd never fight again. What he's done is incredible. Thoughts on MTK and Dave Allen? I think it's good for Dave. I think he needs some structure, needs someone to look after him. Bob Arum impersonation. What do you got, Bob? Eddie, this coronavirus is gonna shock the game. We gotta get back. We gotta make the biggest fights. We gotta make Fury Joshua super quick, because you don't know shit about promoting fights in America. I think Sonny Edwards is a good fighter. How much has COVID-19 affected business for you? Yeah, a lot. I mean, look, we had obviously March 28th at the O2 has been cancelled. April 4th in Newcastle has now moved to June 27. And we'll make an announcement on Monday about Dillian Whyte, the Cardiff show in May, and Chisora, Usyk, May 23. We don't know how long this is going to last. We know, listen, the earliest boxing is going to start again is June. The earliest, in my opinion. So that's why the shows in May we have to look at and come up with alternative dates. Just got to keep being creative. Got a couple of esports ideas in the pipeline. Like I said, just filmed this Fight and Fit series for Sky Sports. That will launch soon. But really, I think over the next couple of weeks, it's total lockdown, isn't it? No one's going to be doing anything. Tam Louise, thank you. I don't really do a Don King or a Mike Tyson impersonation. What have I been doing in isolation? Really, homeschooling with my daughters, which has been fucking brutal. Walking the dogs. I've actually just popped into the office. The office is shut, but I've popped in to pick something up, and I thought I'd do a quick live. Cheers, Hudders, mate. Means a lot. Joe Markowski from the Zone impression. I have to work on that. Do you remember Francis Ampofo? Of course. Francis Ampofo was like my hero growing up. So for those of you who don't know, Francis Ampofo was the British flyweight champion. And when I used to hang around in the gym in Romford, when my dad was promoting, he was like my favourite fighter. And that goes into the other question about football teams, because I was a Spurs season ticket holder, and Francis Ampofo used to take me to the games after training, and we'd go there. Health Minister now got coronavirus. Is that true? Where's your jumper from, Eduardo? Bruno Kachelny. Boris Johnson impression. I can't even attempt it. I like the Trump one. He goes, he's from China. China. Why'd you call it a Chinese virus? Because he's from China. It's Chinese. Is AJ as much of a gent? I promise you, he's the biggest gent you'll meet. Eddie, how many amateur white collar fights did you have? And what was your record? I had 3 at Billericay Boxing Club. Dillian Whyte, what's happening? Usyk is going to get a wake-up call from Del Boy. I think it's a real... Mate, I've had a trim. This is like a day's growth for me. Felix Cash, what's happening? Do you know one thing I do think that will happen in boxing? I think that this is going to cause a lot of bigger fights to happen quicker, because people are going to be inactive time they fight again. And I think people are going to be wanting to jockey for position and jump into big fights quicker. That's one of my opinions. What's David Hay like? Great guy, smart guy, good promoter, good self-promoter, and was a great fighter. Dillian is the man. Don't tell him that. Dillian, wish I could grow that much facial hair in a year. Yeah, you're a bit wispy, mate, aren't you? But don't worry, mate. This is real man stuff. Fight Night Champion news, please. Got a few things in the fire on the Fight Night Champion. What's Carl Froch like? Carl Froch. If I could describe Carl Froch, just be the ultimate competitor. The ultimate competitor. He would fight you for 5p on the floor if it meant winning. That is why he was such a great fighter. Jim McDonnell impression on the line as well. You have to remember, Jimmy Mack Senior was also like one of my biggest heroes. But I do do his impression good when he talks about James DeGale. He's a great fighter. He's a 15-round fighter. I went over took him over the he was doing. Guess how fast he was doing the 400 metres. I know Jim, like 50 seconds. No, I'm silly. Mate, he's a 15-round fighter. He'll fight all night. Dillian Whyte time frame. We'll make an announcement on Monday about Dillian Whyte's fight, but we will have a new date for that more than likely. Tickets will still be valid. Who's better, Boxing Social or IFL TV? I wonder who is watching, Rob Tebbett or Kugan Cassius. I like Boxing Social. I think you probably have to say Tebbett was more intellectual than Kugan. But Kugan's the daddy at the moment. But listen, things can change. Kell Brook impression. You know, last fight, I stepped up. Mark DeLuca, tough opponent. But he couldn't handle the brownies, you know. I hit him with a right hand down pipe and it's game over. Thoughts on no context, Hearn? Love it. Oh, Boxing Social are watching. Luke Campbell, supposed to fight for against Javier Fortuna for the world title. That was supposed to be April 17. Obviously that's put back now, but he'll be out in the summer. Greg's breakfast or McDonald's. You know what? I'm not mad on McDonald's breakfast. And listen, I eat like a pig. Who's your favourite boxer? You know what I was thinking last night? Do you know who one of my favourite fighters was growing up? And I don't think anyone even really talks about him anymore. He's Meldrick Taylor. I was watching some of his fights last night. I mean, his fight with Chavez, if you haven't seen that, it's heartbreaking. But Meldrick Taylor was one of my favourite fighters. There was a picture, actually, of the American team. And it was like Tyrell Biggs, Pernell Whitaker, Meldrick Taylor, Evander Holyfield, and Mark Breland. Mate, unbelievable. I like Kell Brook versus Liam Smith. And again, that's a good example of fights that you might see happen back end of the summer, early autumn, because of this delay. Zelfa Barrett, you know you think Meldrick Taylor was a bad man. Who's better, Ronaldo or Messi? Do you know what? Controversially, I think I might have to go for Messi. Demetrius Andrade has a mandatory against Liam Williams. That's going to be delayed, but that should be next for both guys. Beefy, how we doing, mate? Tell Sky to release AJ v Miller. Gloves are off. Good idea. Callum Johnson, again, was due to fight May 2nd against McCalkin for the European title. And again, that's another situation where I think you might end up seeing Buatsi against Callum Johnson in the back end of this year as well. Great fight. What's your favourite coffee? I've been getting some great coffee sent to me recently. Broomfield Coffee, shout out to them. I haven't had a cup of coffee for 4 days. And I've realised that probably for the last 10 years, I've had 2 cups of coffee a day. What do you all want to see at the moment on TV? I mean, obviously we can't produce live shows, but what do you want to watch? We got to produce something. So like I said, we had this Fighting Fit series will launch in a couple of weeks on Sky. I've got this little fight night idea, which I've pitched to EA Sports, which is really interesting. And it's not just a virtual game, it's much more complicated than that. Some mothers do have them. Yeah, it's my favourite. Anyone remember Some Mothers Do Have Them? Oh, Betty, the cat's done a little whoopsie in my beret. That one. Whatever happened to Boy Jones Jr.? Akib, yeah, the archive, Sky. If you haven't gone on to Sky On Demand yet and looked at the boxing archive, pretty impressive bunch of fights. There's only so long the archive can last though. Best Only Fools and Horses episode, Batman and Robin, by a mile. PT Boxing, what's happening? Watch The Stranger on Netflix. I've heard that's good. I watched, what's it called? Safe. Anyone watch Safe on Netflix? Anyone else got any good Netflix recommendation? Ben Davison says Rob Tebbett is a bunny boiler. Power, yeah. You know what? I watched a bit of Power. I struggled to get into it. White Gold, another great series on Netflix. Altered Carbon, Peaky Blinders. Yeah, seen that. Prison Break, not seen that one. War of the Worlds. What's this one on Netflix? Tiger, that's it. Craig Jones. Tiger King. What is that about? All or Nothing on Amazon from Ben Davison. What about the F1 Drive to Survive or something like that? The F1. Yeah, Liam, my old man. I told my old man he's in White Gold. What is Tiger King, guys? What is it? The Blacklist on Netflix. Drive to Survive, yeah. Alex Cooper, what's happening? Do you know what? There's a lot of questions about Fight Night. I had a call the other day with EA Sports. I keep telling them, like, every time I mention Fight Night on social media, it goes mad. I think the return of EA Sports Fight Night would be huge. The wife fed her husband to the tiger on Tiger King. Oh, Gomorrah on Sky box sets. You know what? Gomorrah, I've downloaded it and I watched the first episode. It's subtitles. Are you comfortable watching a series with subtitles? Top Boy, I rated Top Boy. I thought it was unbelievable. Saw that ages ago though. When is Demetrius Onde going to get Charlo? Listen, we can't do any more than we're doing. Narcos, seen it. Eddie, what uni did you go to? I was supposed to go to Bournemouth University and do BA Honours in Leisure Marketing, and then I got a job and I went straight into work. Bulletproof, I like. UV John Fury in a scrap. Who wins? Mate, I'd get absolutely battered. Why don't y'all want no smoke with Charlo? Ooh, how scary. Is the AJ fight still going to happen? Yes. Right now, June 20 is on. But again, this is a week by week case that we're looking at on all these shows right now. Hi, Diane. Hi, Shannon. I don't play all that. People asking me to play Warzone and Fight Night, not Fight Night, Fortnite. I don't play all that stuff. I think I just missed the boat. I know you probably think I'm in my early 20s, but I'm quite a bit older than that. A lot of Jake Paul KSI. We'll see. We have to get these normal fights back up and running first. A lot of Eubank impressions. What you must understand is that Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister of this country, has just announced he has corona. This is not a good situation, but we are fighters. We are all warriors. We all have the warrior encompassed within us. And although we have not all stepped through the ropes, I have stepped through the ropes, and I am a warrior. But we must rise as a country to show that we have the inner warrior spirit. Lee Eaton, what's happening, mate? Frankie Hayes, shout out to you, mate. Am I the face of Matchroom? Does Frank now manage all day-to-day aspects? Frank Smith, yeah, listen, Frank Smith's the boss, really, as far as I'm concerned. I'm just come out and talk shit, really, at press conferences. KSI would beat Jake Paul. I think Jake Paul can fight, you know. Danny Morrell for Matchroom. Who wins a 6-rounder, me or Coogan, mate? We wouldn't be able to go 6 rounds. Benito Hindley, love from Spain. Listen, prayers up, mate, for Spain. Tough times for us all, especially over there. Why is your carpet on the wall? Mate, I'll pick this. Probably, I don't think it does itself justice right now. Lovely bit of artwork. Farmer Diaz 2 was supposed to be happening in sort of June time, but again, we'll see. Josh Woogs, yeah, wow. What's it like being around Billy Joe Saunders? Fucking hilarious, mate. Hilarious. Shout out to Australia. Few questions about Dillian Whyte in UFC. I think Dillian Whyte could be a problem in UFC. You know that he was a kickboxer originally. And I reckon he can grapple as well. Josh Udosa. Right, I'm going to shoot off, people. On Monday, I am going to do another Instagram Live with our US fighters. So we'll put that out soon. Like I said, Monday we'll also announce news on our May fights. And don't forget to check out Chris Cooks with Chris Algerio on Matchroom. Beefy, Callum versus Jacobs, yes please. So we'll have to see what happens with Canelo and Billy Joe as well. Yeah, Chris Cooks with Chris Algieri on Matchroom Boxing IGTV. Fighting Fit, which is our new fitness series, will launch on Sky Sports soon, about a week's time. And other than that, stay healthy, stay safe. Jake Hodgson, you look like a scruff. Mate, what do you expect? I'm isolating. I'm entitled to look rough. If you don't look rough while you're isolating, when can you ever look rough? Fowler or Fitzy, mate, I can't wait. You're going to see that fight, I think, in September. And I think maybe Liverpool, maybe the Echo Arena or the M&S Bank Arena. All right, people, take care. Love you all. Take it easy.